Hi guys, time for another completely unorganized video. That seems to be most of my videos these days. But, so there's been a lot of talk on Dave Filoni being the president of Lucasfilm. And this has kind of blown up on the internet in the last week. And so I kind of wanted to talk about this. But I'm not really going to talk about how Dave Filoni should be the president of Lucasfilm. I think that's a different matter. I'm not going to cover that, but I do want to talk about Dave being a director for one of the Star Wars anthology films, possibly. But first, before I get too far into this, for those of you who don't know, Dave Filoni is the producer for the animated films. So he works on all of the TV shows and things like that. So like Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars The Clone Wars, that was all of his work. So he's pretty much a really good guy. I've been watching a lot of interviews with him, and he knows Star Wars. He knows what he's talking about. But we'll go into more of his qualifications in a second. But yeah, all you need to know is basically he's the guy that makes all of the cartoons, like the cartoon that is playing in the background right now. So yeah, he's that guy. So where were we? Oh right. So Dave should direct an anthology film, and when I say anthology film, I don't mean a cartoon of any sort. I mean like an actual live-action Star Wars movie, like something like Rogue One, because he'd be really good at that. If he does do something like this, he should definitely set it in the prequel era, because Disney's been pretty much avoiding the prequels ever since they bought out Lucasfilm, because, everyone hates the prequels and all that. But Dave Filoni actually made it so people like the prequels. He actually saved the prequels with the Clone Wars, because everyone loves the Clone Wars. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a biased fanboy that I only love the Clone Wars. No. I actually haven't seen all the episodes of the Clone Wars, so I'm just going off of what other people have said. Because I love the Clone Wars. I've only seen a few episodes, though. So I'm not biased, guys. This is unbiased. Well, as unbiased as you can get. So let's discuss Dave's qualifications. And I have a list here, and there's a lot of them, actually. And it's unorganized, of course, like I warned you about earlier. But one of the big qualifications is everyone loves the Clone Wars. The first few seasons, everyone says, weren't that good, but once you get into the fourth season and above, it gets really good. Like, I'm hooked, and some of those seasons are better than actual Star Wars movies. Cough cough, The Last Jedi, cough cough. And then another qualification is he writes great female characters, and he develops them perfectly, and they're actually interesting. Now, I'm a fan of Rey. I like Rey. She's a good character. It's just she kind of doesn't have that much character development. But Dave, his female characters like Ahsoka, everyone loves Ahsoka. She's a great female character, and everyone loves her. And same with the female villains he writes, like Ventress. She's a cool female villain. It's actually awesome and isn't dumb like Captain Phasma. She actually does stuff, so that's awesome. And although he does include great female characters, there isn't really any propaganda, there isn't any political messages behind that. He just writes great female characters, and he doesn't make any political points with that. It's awesome. He makes everyone equal. And he doesn't change the personality of beloved characters. Like, he doesn't make any of the main characters drink alien space cow milk. That was gross. He wrote Anakin and Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars, and he gets them spot on. I actually like the Anakin from the Clone Wars better than the Anakin from the actual prequel movies. I think Anakin's more likable in the Clone Wars, and Obi-Wan is awesome as always. He got their characters spot on and actually improved them a little bit and added more depth to them, which I think is awesome. He didn't make any weird scenes with them. And he makes overall better quality films, like we've covered on already, like the Clone Wars. Some of the plots are really awesome. You should, if you haven't seen any, watch the Order 66 plotline. That was amazing. He creates emotional scenes. Okay, let's get into a little storytelling here. So, Fives, the clone trooper. I didn't know him very well, but I saw the Order 66 plotline, and so I was just, watching it, but I didn't know about Fives really before that because that was the first episode I saw with Fives. And spoilers, I guess, at the end, Fives dies. And when he died, I felt emotional. I was like, wow, that's actually really sad. Even though I didn't really know the character, he just had a very good send off, even though he was just a normal clone and all clones look the same, he still made it very emotional. And that was awesome. I was like, whoa, he can actually make emotional scenes. Like, okay, I'm not going to go into Luke's death because that was emotional too. I'm not going to say it wasn't emotional. I'm just saying if Dave Filoni made Luke's death, it would have been more emotional. And he does give characters more depth, and he did fix the prequels, which are kind of covered already. Like with the Metachlorians, he actually made it so the Metachlorians are it's complicated, but he made it so Metachlorians aren't as evil as everyone thinks, and he actually made it so the fans, he helps the fans out, okay? Like, he fixed the Metachlorians for the fans, and he made it that the Metachlorians were just something that the Jedi thought of, and the Jedi were straying from the spiritual path, and they were going to the scientific path, and that was kind of making them less capable, and they were becoming clouded-minded because they were just focusing on the Metachlorians. It's, we'll talk about that in a different video, but, yeah, he did fix some aspects of the prequels, which was awesome. And he made the prequels more awesome, with the Clone Wars and the epic battles he did. It was awesome. Even though they were just cartoon, they were still epic. And he does come up with designs that make people actually want to buy them. Like, his designs are epic. They make great toys, like, Disney's toy sales. Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. The toy sales are going down at Disney. And that is a bad thing, and everyone's worried. But Dave actually makes awesome designs. So, if you want the toy sales to go up, maybe have him direct a movie and put in a bunch of awesome designs that would make great toys. Common sense. And his plots are very interesting and unique, like the Order 66 plot, and a lot of his plots are very unique and awesome. He grabs inspiration from other movies, so that helps him make original plot lines, but he makes them fit into the Star Wars universe. It's awesome, and he listens to the fans, which is amazing, and he doesn't just do fan service all the time, although, there is a lot of fan service, which I like. I'm a big fan of fan service. I don't mind it too much, but when it's a story driven by fan service, that's horrible. But honestly, fan service I don't mind. But anyways, he does listen to the fans, and he doesn't make fan theories come true just to please the fans, but he knows what the fans want, and if he can, he'll incorporate that into the story just because he appreciates the fans. And he adds new things to the universe, which is great. Adds to the lore. It's awesome. And I think those are most of his qualifications. He probably has a ton more, but I know that was a ton, but those are his qualifications, and I think he'd make an amazing director. So yeah, those are his qualifications. Let's move on to the next thing. I know a lot of people are losing faith in the Star Wars leadership right now. I'm not going to put my opinions into that. I'm just saying what other people are saying. And I think that Dave Filoni is an awesome asset to the Star Wars community. And I think Disney and Lucasfilm should use him because he has a ton of great ideas and he makes awesome plots. And, well, I don't want to go through his qualifications all over again, although I could because he's awesome. But I really just think that he should be given the opportunity to make a Star Wars film. And if that turns out to be successful, maybe move him up in the ranks. And who knows, maybe one day he could become the president of a Lucasfilm, which would be completely awesome. And I'd love that because he's a true Star Wars fan. And I'm glad he's continuing to make these awesome animations like Star Wars Rebels. It's not as popular as the Clone Wars, but hey, I still enjoy it. So that's that. I really hope Dave Filoni gets a chance to make a live-action Star Wars movie. If you like this video, please subscribe and leave a comment and like the video. What do you think of all of this? Do you think Dave should direct a Star Wars movie? Let us know in the comments. Thanks.